Really good evening. Good to see you. Same Arthur Warren. Good evening, Mia.
Lynn, how are you?
Hi, everyone.
Hello. How are you too?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
I hope you don't mind, but I'm like actually eating dinner as we have this meeting. I might go dark for a minute, which means I'm just gonna eat my dinner.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hi. Good evening. Is the chat function off?
Look, so I didn't see it either.
Oh, it
What's
must.
for
What's up? I'm
dinner?
Naomi Hopkins. I'm here for Council Member Alika Ampry Samuel.
Hi, Naomi. Fabian Milburn, Brooklyn Museum. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Fabian, what is for dinner? We're very interested.
For dinner tonight, I'm having fried chicken with homemade biscuits and some rice and red beans.
All right, fried chicken. You lost fried chicken. I'm off all fried food.
Are you really?
Yes, I'm well, not maybe vegetables. Yeah.
What's your diet now then? What are you eating?
I mean, a lot. I'm actually into almond cheese, cashew cheese, hummus, tahina, like Mediterranean.
Oh wow! So you have a very healthy. Like there was something called the Mediterranean diet.
There is, yeah.
So, and it's a healthy diet, I can tell you that. I lived in Greece as a child, so let me tell you, that is the freshest, best food ever.
Yes, yeah. So we do a lot of Mediterranean food, and I like fried. I'll do a vegetable stir fry or something, but I use sometimes coconut oil and.
Do you cook Are you a good cook?
You have to ask my wife.
I think I already got my answer.
I learned from Rabbi Berman. I'm on a seafood diet. Whatever I see, I eat.
I like your diet, Eli. I like your diet.
That's why I look the way I look. I'm sitting.
Listen, when the pandemic is over, me and Eli are going to invite everybody over we'll make a night of Jewish cuisine, pastrami, corned beef. I'll go off the diet for the evening.
Don't forget the mayonnaise if you really want to kill them.
Mayonnaise, but mayonnaise is not Jewish.
Oh yes, it is. You haven't had pastrami with mayonnaise, you're not Jewish.
No, the
like that.
Mayonnaise is the exact opposite. Mayonnaise isn't Jewish. Pastrami is not. Mayonnaise is not allowed to go on pastrami.
That's funny. Oh my god. Well, make sure I'm on the
invite.
Well, I converted the mayonnaise.
I think maybe it's like very orthodox, but traditional Jewish mayonnaise doesn't belong on pastrami.
All right, on. A nice hot pastrami sandwich. I'll never reject it.
Okay.
So Yakov, how many people are usually on the call?
How many people?
Hi, Melanie.
Hello.
I actually have an event tonight as well on eating disorders. We're talking about food, so we're doing an event in Crown Heights, a virtual event on eating disorders, the prevalence of it, and what we could do. And one of the main, one of the ways we could help as a community is we have to be very careful how we talk about body image and food. So I probably just broke one of the rules that we're going to be talking about tonight, but be very careful not, especially in front of youth.
Well, I'm no longer a youth, and I like Eli's diet, which is I see it, I eat it.
True.
Hey everybody, it's Warren. Good evening.
Hey, Warren.
Hey,
How
Warren.
are you? Well, I want to contribute. I use mayonnaise. I'm Jewish, but I'm secular according to Yaakov. But I use mayonnaise on brisket and I love it.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Probably fake brisket, Warren.
Excuse me?
Probably
Or
not
fake
authentic
mayonnaise. Or
Either
fake
f-
mayonnaise.
or fake mayonnaise.
I am what I am.
Uh,
And I eat everything inside also. So
the only thing that goes on brisket is cabbage.
that would be good.
That sounds really good.
And mayonnaise.
Man,
Mustard.
No. That's a sin. Warren, you're gonna have to answer for that after 120.
Hey, I'm gonna have to answer to a lot of things.
Warren, I don't even know you. You're just like added to the list.
Oh, I am the first vice chair of the community board.
Hi, I'm Fabian Milburn. I'm Chief of Staff and Chief Legal Officer for the Brooklyn Museum.
Ah, excellent.
You're the guy I want to meet.
You're meeting me, and hopefully we'll meet in person soon. I just got my second. Pfizer shot last Sunday. Yeah, so I'm all vaccinated up. My whole family, we're all vaccinated up.
That's terrific.
Yeah, I just felt like the first time I got the text from I'm at NYU. I literally felt like I got a lottery ticket. I was like, I was on a Zoom call and I went dark and immediately like went on my phone and scheduled my appointment. You feel like you hit the lottery when you get that text.
So that's good. Well, you know, they made a big announcement today that people who are vaccinated, you know, they're now recommending that they do not have to,
Wear the
Uh,
mask.
they don't have to wear the mask when they're outside.
But I think
Unless-
the mayor disagreed or something. I saw in the news that the mayor doesn't agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just telling you what the CDC said.
But not in big crowds. Only small crowds. Or family.
I want to know what Dr. Fauci says.
You're a true Brooklyn boy.
Is he Brooklyn?
Yes, he is.
I didn't know that. Now I'm definitely listening to Dr. Fauci.
And as a point of pride, he also went to the same high school, although he went much earlier than I did.
Oh, I just was wondering. I was just wondering if he was in the same class as you, Fred.
Exactly. I was an upperclassman when he was there.
Unless Fred, you took that magic pill where you never age.
That's it. I'm going with that. Yeah. All right. I see 7:09. I think we have a critical mass at this point. So we are actually going to begin the meeting at this point. Is Madam Secretary Alejandra, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You ready to take the minutes?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. We are now calling the meeting to order. The time is now 7:09 p.m. I want to welcome everyone to the general board meeting of Community Board 9 for the month of April 2021. My name is Fred Baptiste. I currently serve as the proud chair of this board. I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. It is truly great to see everyone on, so many different members on, so many different aspects of the community. This is really when our board is at best, when we have this kind of interaction. I want to say thanks to everyone for coming on this evening. Before we proceed in the agenda, there is one piece of news I did want to share with regards to the passing of Lorraine Thomas. Lorraine Thomas is a past board member. I believe she was active on the board from 2015 to 2017, and she just passed. At this time, I think this is appropriate that as we send our well wishes to her family and friends, that as a board take a moment of silence for her passing. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so we are now going to go on in our agenda. The next item is the rules of order. We are actually going to, the rules of order, the code of conduct, we're going to waive the reading of the rules. The rules are actually available on our website, CP9 website. But just in general, I want to make note that this is a place where, as a community board, we come together to deliberate on some of the issues that are before this community. We absolutely invite members of the community as well to come and join us to share their thoughts during the public commentary period as well, and also to reach out to the board if there are any issues or things that they need to address. The one thing we do want to make is the hallmark of this board is that we respect each other. We understand that part of our power is we are a diverse community. We have numerous perspectives. We have people who were born, who arrived in this community yesterday, and people who've been here 67 years, all with valid viewpoints that we want to make sure get heard. Those things help us as a board to make the decisions that we think are in the best interest of our community. But again, the main thing is we just want to make sure that we're respectful in that dialogue as well. So we just want to make sure that everyone plays nice while we're here. And that include that. And again, the code of conduct is available on the board website. Mr. District Manager, do we currently have any presentations scheduled for this evening?
Let me see. No presentations that I'm aware of.
Okay, very well. I believe we have 3 SLA applications that are on our agenda for consideration. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, at this time, do we have the chair of the Public Safety Committee? Rabbi Berman, are you here?
I am here. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All
We
right,
had
turn it over to you.
we had a great meeting last month, a lot of conversation, a lot of dialogue, hopefully going good places. We had 3 applications, Brooklyn Food and Arts, which is a, well, I'll let them speak for themselves, but they're here, they're in the museum, and they want an alteration to the existing license. We have Ma's Soul Food Plus, which is at 140 Empire Boulevard, and they want a new liquor, wine, and beer cider license. And we have Taste of the City Lounge, which is at 903 Franklin Avenue, and they want a new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. For all 3 applications, the board interviewed the owners or their representatives, and we voted to support their application. We're recommending that the board support the application as well. More information, I refer you to the minutes of the Public Safety Committee. Thanks to Mia. And I believe we have representatives of some of these establishments here. I saw here the Brooklyn Food and Arts LLC's legal counsel is here tonight. So I think we should start with him.
Hi, I'm Barbara Kwan. I'm counsel to the applicant for the Brooklyn Museum application. Fabian Milburn, I'd like to formally introduce, although I think he sort of set the spirit for the meeting. Fabian is the new Chief of Staff and Chief Legal Officer of the Brooklyn Museum. This is his first community board, full board meeting. Our committee meeting was the first meeting Fabian attended. We also have Mindy Birnbaum from the licensee, as well as Gary Bedigan, all here to answer any questions anyone may have. And I know that the board has met with Gary and Mindy before, but we certainly wanted to take an opportunity for Fabian to meet the community board and introduce himself as the community liaison for the museum.
As Barbara said, my name is Fabian Milburn. I'm the new Chief of Staff and Chief Legal Officer for the Brooklyn Museum. It's a pleasure to meet everybody. And as you know, the museum is a big part of the community. Not only do we feature art, which is our main attraction, but we also have a robust educational program, K through 12, as well as our art and empathy program for adults. We've expanded our footprint as a result of the COVID crisis to be more engaging with our local constituency and community through our virtual programs. And I'm proud to say that it looks like the city is going to allow us to have in-person summer camp for our children in Brooklyn this summer. So we're working on the COVID protocols for that right now. So it's just nice to meet everybody and be on this meeting. If anybody ever has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. It's fabian.milburn@brooklynmuseum.org. If there is a chat, I'll put my email in the chat. And again,
I'm just asking, Mr. Chair, if we're going to take questions from the community now. I think we should limit the questions to the application. And then at a later date, Fabian could come and take questions regarding the museum in general. Because we're really now we're going to focus on the application. You want to quickly, briefly, in 60 seconds or less, tell us what you're asking us to do?
Absolutely. What we're asking is for the community board to allow us to apply for the alteration with the State Liquor Authority, simply to add a bar to the sculpture garden, which is on the ground level outside. In light of COVID and wanting to reduce crowds and outdoor spaces being safer, this would be a bar that would only be out, weather permitting and need permitting in the sculpture garden within the grounds of the museum. The other aspect of the alteration is that there is an existing third floor bar that's just being relocated to the other side of the third floor. So essentially what we're doing is asking to add one outdoor bar for seasonal use.
Mr. Chair, are we taking questions or?
Yes, we can take a limited number of questions. Are there any questions for the applicant with regards to the establishment and the application?
I just have hi, thank you for being here. My name is Primo, I'm a community board member. I just have one question. Where exactly are you planning to locate it? Is it on the Eastern Parkway side or, and if so, where, kind of with proximity to the museum?
The sculpture garden is not on the Eastern Parkway side. It's hard to explain, but the sculpture garden is once you're in the museum and then you're near where the restaurant is to the right, is where the sculpture garden is. So it's sort of encapsulated within the ground.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay, I see Amy Pinkerton. Amy, did you have my mic on? Okay, Amy, did you have a question?
Sorry, there's a double mute. I was talking. Okay, I believe the sculpture garden is in the parking lot. Is that correct? Or in the parking lot area?
I can answer that. It does abut the parking lot. Yes, if you're raised at the museum level, you step out into the sculpture garden, and then behind that is the parking lot. So it's in that area.
Right. It's by the Norm restaurant. I think I know where it is, but I'm just curious, can you access the bar if you wanted to through the parking lot, or do you have to actually go through the museum entrance and then go down the corridor and then enter that way?
You have to go through the museum.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we'll take one more question. I see Nicholas Almanor.
Now, I wanted to know what would be the capacity of that bar outside.
I'm not certain the exact number. Gary or Mindy, are you aware of the number for occupancy in the sculpture garden?
It's going to have seats, tables, and chairs. I don't think that the museum has set forth the seating chart yet, but we can get that information to you at a later date. The intent is for the liquor to be served to people at tables and chairs, as far as I know right now.
And then one I can add on to that, Mindy, right now, because we're actually undergoing a redesign of the sculpture garden right now. It's a beautification project. And again, not an exact number, but I would say probably 30 people would be seated in that area in terms of seats. But that's not the exact number, but right now from the renderings, that's what it looks like. So that'll give you an idea. It's like definitely won't be 100 because of COVID and just the seating itself. But as I look at the renderings, it's about 30 to 50 people could be seated there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are going to be considering our application during the voting portion in the business session. You're more than welcome to stay if you would like. Okay, and thank you very much for your presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chair, are there any other applicants present with us this evening?
Thank you.
Is Ma Soul's Food Plus here?
Yes. Evening.
Good
Hello,
evening.
hi, good
Thank you
evening.
so much for joining us. If you could just briefly in 60 seconds, 2 minutes, just tell us what you're tell us about your store and what you're asking, your establishment, what you're asking us to do.
Okay, good afternoon. Hope all is well with everyone. It will be a soul food, seafood. It's gonna be family run. There'll be seatings for 40 people. We're from the community. I plan to hire from the community as well. We'll be open Friday through Saturday from 11 till 12, Sunday from 11 till 9. And I'm asking for the community board to allow me to have a liquor license, to apply for a liquor license for the establishment.
Well, that was great. You really gave us the key information. We checked with the fire department and NYPD, and there are no complaints, known complaints against the establishment. And the board voted to recommend supporting this application. I think we should take a question or two from the community, Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
That's fine. Please raise your hand and we will recognize you in order, or as close to the order as we can get. Just get a quick speakers list. I see Ms. Pinkerton. Hold on one second. Are there any other questions? District office team, do you see anyone raising their hands, or has anybody else indicated that they want to speak?
I see no other hands.
Great.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Pinkerton, we'll recognize you. We're going to close on you as well. Go ahead with your question.
Sure, I know the Yakov mentioned it, but I just missed the addresses. So if the people could just mention their address with the cross street, that would be
140
great. Thank
Empire
you.
Boulevard. 140 Empire Boulevard.
And the cross street?
Bedford Avenue, and it goes, there's little short streets in between there. But the big street is Flatbush Avenue.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Is Taste of the City Lounge here? Mia, do you see them? Taste of the City Lounge?
I admitted the rep to the room in a short while ago, but I didn't. Hold on one second. Yes, they are here. I'm gonna
All
ask
right.
them for that they unmute.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us and for, working with our community. You could briefly tell us about your establishment, hours of operation, location, what you're going to be serving, and what you're asking from the community.
Yes, I will be. Hi, my name is September Pierre. I'm trying to open a restaurant, a lounge, in 903 Franklin Avenue. It will be Caribbean American restaurant. I promise I will keep everything, quiet, and I will hire the people from the neighborhood, yeah, that's about it.
Hours of operation, days?
Well, we will be open from 12 to 10 on a regular day. A weekend, maybe from 10 to 2 o'clock in the morning. And the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be 10 to 2.
Right, so I don't know, Mr. Chair, I know we asked him by the committee. I want to open up the first question. We could take a question or two from the community. How do you plan to make sure, if you're open till 2, that's very late. How do you plan to make sure there's no noise and spillover into the streets and they won't keep up the neighbors?
Well, I will make sure, my staff keep everybody inside, nobody in the sidewalk, nobody in the front. And then, we will make sure we keep it quiet and, talk to the customers.
Mr. Chair, should we take a question or two? Are there any questions?
Absolutely. Are there any other questions for the applicant? I see, hold on, let me just create a list. I see Ms. Lewis.
Good evening, no disrespect, of course, but I would love to be able to see you as you're presenting yourself to us for the first time and, looking to open up an establishment, in a community. It would be great to be able to officially greet you, even if it is virtual. I know that we're in a virtual situation right now, but, as one that's presenting, themselves. I feel like Alicia right now, but I mean, it is what it is,
No.
right?
Do you mind, Fred, what's the protocol here? I don't know.
I mean, I think as a matter of etiquette, it's usually preferable, but we can't force the applicant.
Is it the applicant, this taste of it, did you have an objection to putting on your camera for a moment, or?
I'll just
Yeah, no
say
problem.
that
I mean, you could put me in the camera. I don't mind.
No, you have to, your camera now is blocked. We don't see your face. Can you put the camera on so the community could properly greet you as the request from the community member?
Okay, let me see.
There should be a red.
The red recording thing?
No, not the red recording. You see on the bottom, it should say stop video, start video.
Okay.
Start video, yeah. It should say start video. It's a little.
Yeah, I see him. Yes, hello.
All right.
Yes,
Can
I'm
we?
here.
I don't know.
I can see him.
Yes,
I
you
know,
see me?
I see him. Yes, and be careful
Yeah, I think
driving.
he's driving. I think he's positioning the camera in the car because he's driving.
Well, if you're driving, oh.
No, I'm not driving. I mean, I parked somewhere because I just came from vacation. It was my birthday on the 25th. So I just come down. I was trying to make it to the meeting.
Well,
I'm
you're
so
not.
sorry about that.
You're not in New York because it's very hot in New York.
No, I'm
It
in
looks
New
like-
York. I'm in New
Really?
York. Now. I just got here.
Oh, it looks like it's cold where you are.
Yeah. 25th was my birthday. I was in Cancun. I just come down.
Oh,
I was trying to make
wow.
it to the meeting because, I know this meeting is very important, to you guys.
Well, belated happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
well, it's important for you too. So thank you so much for greeting us. I appreciate that. If I was interviewing someone, I would want to be able to see them. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Anytime.
All right. And the last person I see, we're going to recognize Ms. Wolfley, and then we're going to move on to the agenda. Lorianne?
Oh, happy belated birthday. I have, excuse me.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Can you repeat your hours of operation?
Well, my hours on a regular day would be like 10 to 10, and then on a weekend would be like maybe 10 to 2 o'clock in the morning. The weekend, like Saturday, like Friday, Saturday,
Friday and Saturday. And what about Sunday?
Sunday, I don't think would be a lot of business on Sunday. If it, I don't think maybe like 1 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. 1 o'clock
You're
in
welcome.
the afternoon or in the morning? 1 a.m.?
In the morning, in the morning, just in case,
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your question.
Okay. I had closed the list, but there was one person who had raised their hand that I didn't recognize at the time. So we'll take this. This will be the last question. Mr. Lebeau, Chris? Chris, are you still there?
You've unmuted, but we can't hear you, Chris. Still getting no audio. Maybe you have a pair of headphones plugged in or something.
Chris, you might have to, oh, I think he maybe signed that. Okay, never mind.
Is he still there, or he's not long in the room?
I think he signed off to fix his situation.
Okay. All right, so are you going to still be on for a few minutes? So I apologize. I missed your name the first time. Are you still for the representative for Taste of the City? Are you still going to be on for a few more minutes?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Well, actually, I think Mr. Lubo is re-entering. Hold on one second. I think we'll be able to take his question. Mr. Lubo, are you on? Are you okay? Oh, no question? Okay. All right. I think he's good then. All right, sir. Thank you very much. So we'll be considering your application as part of our voting session. So that'll happen when we go into the business portion of the meeting. You're more than welcome to stay, wait for the vote. And thank you again for your time. And I want to thank all the applicants for coming and presenting before the board to see. Just as a matter of housekeeping, if I can ask as well. So for all board members, if you are able to, please rename yourselves so that way we can identify you as members of CD9. And let me see. Okay, and we are now going to move on in the agenda. We are going to go to public commentary. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak at this time? If you could please use the raise hand function, or if you are unable to use the raise hand, you can use star 9, star 6. Star 9, correct? Okay, hold on, we're going to begin taking the list. See Maxine Barnes. Moment, I see, oh, Mr. Honeywell, are you with Assembly Member Richardson's office?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am the new constituent service coordinator. So I'm introducing myself to you guys today. Dwayne Joseph moved on from the office on Friday, so I'm going to try my best to step into his shoes in doing this work in the office. Just saying greetings to everyone.
Okay, perfect. You'll actually have an opportunity because when we get to the acknowledgement section, you'll be able to give greetings on behalf of the office as well. So we'll recognize you at that point. All right. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak at this time? Okay, seeing none, we're going to begin with Ms. Barnes. Go ahead, Ms. Barnes. You have the floor. You have free.
Good afternoon, community. Just to be clear, this is a brief summary of what has happened so far. The April 13th ULIP meeting was where the community was repeatedly promised the information as to how many units, how many 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, the community benefits, the materials for the facade, and how much percentage of the facade would be glass, all which is included in the restrictive declaration page of the submitted 40-story application. Did we get any of that info? No. Richard Barak of DCP was in attendance, and everyone knows he has seen the restrictive declaration page, has privy to it, and it must be included in the 40-story application based on process and law. Did any board members, the chair, King Fred, ask for it? No. Did Barak volunteer it? No. 2, community boards are commissioned to engage and consider community input on decisions that would impact their family's quality of life. What did our community board do? They hosted a ULIP meeting with one of the more important and monitored worldwide press-covered issues of existence for a maximum of 100 participants and did not insist on the required fundamental information. At the last general board meeting, March 23rd, the board continued with its shenanigans. It was more disappointing than the ULIP. Amy's motion to vote on an exchange of info at a town hall was minimalized and ridiculed. And again, it was said that it would be handled in the ULIP. Worse, board members abstained and stated they left the meeting and didn't know the issue. Good God, my God, the board members, all of them should know about the issues on the proposed 40-story application to destroy the Botanical Garden and Jackie Robinson Playground. Amy's motion to vote on an exchange of information that would ideally include restrictive declaration pledge was described as passionate, as if the community and the board should both not be passionate about saving our treasured green spaces. The board is a damn disgrace, but still we rise. And on a positive note, moving forward, the community will protest, rally, speak truth to power, foil, and take it to court for justice. Thank you for listening, community.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. Are there any other speakers at this time? I call again. Are there any other speakers at this time? Okay. Seeing none, we are going to move on. in the agenda.
Coming. All this board does is divvy out liquor.
Give me the link, please. So I can go.
I did.
Somebody's coming.
Ms. Barnes, you
We're
already have your
coming, we're
time.
coming. We're coming,
very much.
Fred. Give us time to get on.
Okay.
I sent it directly to you.
Did you email it?
Yes, I did. I'm using the email I
When
sent
did
to you.
email it?
A little one.
Are you there? Okay.
It's coming on right now, right at this moment.
So while we have a moment, if there are any representatives with any of the with any of the elected officials, we're going to be recognizing you next. So if you can just raise your hand so that way we can identify you in the Zoom, the meeting room, and we'll be able to get you.
Fred.
Yes. Hector,
I'm
how are you
on.
doing, sir?
Yeah, good. I had some technical issues. Thanks for having me, Fred. I really appreciate this.
Absolutely. All right, so listen, so you're on as part of the public commentary period. So you have 3 minutes, and please actually welcome back a former member of the board. Please go ahead, you have 3 minutes to address.
Thank you so much. I probably won't take up all the 3 minutes, but I just wanted an opportunity to talk to the board members. As a former board member, I am actually very pleased to be here tonight and to be able to address some of the new people on the board that I probably, some of you I know, others of you I don't know. I'm running for city council for the 35th district. And one of the things that I want to talk about with you tonight is that the city is in really bad shape after COVID. Just 4% of shuttered business have returned to normal operations. The federal relief package is only going to help 10% of those businesses that actually really shuttered during this pandemic. On the other side of the district, we have an issues with Brooklyn hospitals. Brooklyn Hospital is planning to sell some of their properties to developers. These developers really range from developers that want to actually put towers just facing Fort Greene Park, and others are actually really looking to expand several development within the Fort Greene area. So that is just a small sample of what's really going on in our district. Developers are running rampant in our district. They think that they can just pretty much do whatever it is that they want to do without community input. Now, I'm not an anti-development person, but I'm a person who is actually opposed to actually developing without the community getting involved, number one, and the community getting something.
Just got offline.
Well, this is what I didn't want to be on, right?
Wait.
Because Yeah, because the internet is kind of unstable.
Hours?
Yes. Can you hear me?
We're ready.
We hear you. We hear you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, it seems to be unstable internet. But I was about to say that right now in our community, this is the number one issue, right? Development and how we control this. Rezoning has gone rampant. And so I say all of this to say that we have an opportunity to actually reinvent our city, because we don't want to go back to the old ways of doing business as usual in the city. We are a community board. This community board serves our community. Everybody in this community really has a voice. They have to come here to express exactly what they would like to see in their communities. And so we are responsible for that. And so this coming election, we have a new opportunity to actually reinvent our community board, to make sure that we actually give voices to the people in our community, especially when it relates to development in our community. What are we getting? Why are developers coming into our community just pretty much dictating what they want to do in our community? And so I want to urge everybody on this board, everybody within the sound of this voice, to spread the voice in the community. We have got to be imaginative in how we want to really reinvent our community and not go back to business as usual. In June, we have that opportunity. Thank you, Fred. Thank you for the board for listening to me, and everyone have a good evening and stay safe.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. Are there any other members of the community who wanted to speak during public commentary? All right, Amy, I do see you. I recognize you. You have 3 minutes.
Oh, hi. No, I actually had a question, if you could respond to the person who just spoke, a previous board member. I don't know what the protocol is, but you definitely have.
Sorry, Amy. Yeah, Amy, we're not, this is public commentary. We're not responding. This is an opportunity for the public to express whatever.
All right, well then I'll make a public statement, and if he wants to respond at a different time, he could certainly do it. But my question to him, or what sparked my interest in what his plea was to this community board, not going back to the old ways, and to make sure that the community is informed and outreach and everybody's involved. We have been trying to get more information out in the public and to raise the profile of the 960 Franklin development project. And as Maxine Barnes had mentioned just previously, in last month's board meeting, a motion was raised to have a community town hall, basically sponsored by the community board, to present information to the public, because when the developer was the only speaker basically at the ULIP committee meeting to talk about the 960 Franklin project, they presented a lot of information that was not in the application. So anybody that was not fully aware of what was going on would be misinformed. And it seemed like it behooved us as a community board to make certain the public knew what was going on with the development. And it sounds like your position is the same regarding your development projects near Fort Greene. So we're hoping that you might petition the community board to be more transparent to its community regarding if it's going to be a platform to present information, good, bad, or otherwise. But it's supposed to be kind of an objective platform to make sure our community is informed about decisions and actions being taken in our neighborhood. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the community? I see Mr. Beasley. Mr. Beasley, are you a representative with an elected, or you want to speak on your own behalf?
Hi. Hey, so I'm Stefan from New York Presbyterian, Brooklyn Methodist. I thought the public comment would be much later, so I apologize for commuting. So you said we have 3 minutes?
You have 3 minutes, sir.
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So all we want to do is come to you on behalf of New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital to let you all know that we want to definitely get you all connected, reconnected to care, all forms, right, head to toe. We have 2 medical group offices within reasonable vicinity of the CB9 district. We have our practice behind Barclays Center and our practice in Crown Heights, and the one that borders Flatlands, but it's really Flatbush. If there was a chat feature, I would have put it in the chat, but I'll send all of this information to the district manager via email. And we also opened up our 400,000 square foot Center for Community Health, which features women's health, oncology services, all of our pre-surgical testing. So all of that is available. And we have a number of virtual talks coming up, not only on COVID-19 vaccine information in available languages such as Spanish, Russian, and also Haitian Creole. We also have a number of talks which you can access on our events page, nyp.org/Brooklyn. You can just, you can access those virtual talks about mental health. There's also some talks about women's health that are coming up, as well as a really multidisciplinary talk about stroke. So that's all I was here to inform you all about, and I will send flyers and links to all of that information to the district manager, and I'll also invite anyone here to reach out if you would like virtual talks about COVID-19 vaccine or any other health topics that we might be able to schedule. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bigley. Appreciate it. And you're welcome here at any time as well. Definitely, to share any information. And you have the district manager's information as well. So whatever we can spread in terms of COVID or any other health initiatives. Was it Brooklyn? I always get it wrong. Is it Brooklyn Presbyterian?
No, it's New York Presbyterian, Brooklyn Methodist.
Brooklyn
so
Methodist.
it's we're Methodist Hospital, as most people know. But you can call us NYP Brooklyn. You can say New York Presbyterian. But we're here, and we have you all in medical group offices around the borough and also at the hospital in Park Slope. Okay.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
All right. All right. So I believe we have exhausted the speakers list for public commentary. We are now going to move on to acknowledgements. All right. And I'm seeing Representative Ricardo. You here from the Borough President's office?
Yes, I am. Good evening, CB9. Here at the Brooklyn Borough President's office, we just want to let you know that we're still actively addressing any and all issues that you may be having in your community, and we can be reached at 718-802-3700, or you can send us an email at askeric@brooklynbp.nyc.gov. And we also would like to stress the importance of getting vaccinated. There is a big initiative within the city. And if you go to nyc.gov/vaccine finder, you can find a site near you to make an appointment or find out which sites are doing walk-ins. We hope all of you are staying safe during this time. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. All right. I am also seeing online, we have a representative from Councilmember Alika Acri Samuel's office. Ms. Hopkins, you still on?
Yes, I am still here. Good evening. My name is Naomi Hopkins. Thank you so much. I serve in the role as Deputy Chief of Staff in the Council Member's office. I have 3 announcements for you today. One is regarding our ranked choice voting education webinar, which will be taking place on Thursday, April 29th from 5 to 6. You may be aware that the council member introduced a bill back in January, the Ranked Choice Voting Education Bill, which required Campaign Finance Board and Board of Elections to engage in a really meaningful and comprehensive voter education campaign. So this particular webinar is born out of that initiative. So we will go over why we're using ranked choice voting, how to cast the vote on a ranked choice voting ballot, how the winners are decided, and where you can find more resources. Please attend this training. It will take place via Zoom. I see that my colleague Maurice normally attends the CB9 meeting, so I wasn't aware that I wouldn't have access to the chat function. So what I'll do is email this information over to the district manager. And if anyone wants to contact our office before then, please email Maurice, and I'm going to spell out his email address. It's M Cummings, so M for Maurice, and then Cummings, CUMMINGS. Again, that's MCUMMINGS at council, COUNCIL .nyc.gov. mcummings@council.nyc.gov. And he will be more than happy to shoot you the link so that you can register and join and share with others. Please do, because we got to get as many folks energized and confident about ranked choice voting as possible. The second announcement is the mayor and Chancellor Porter announced Summer Rising. This is a program that's going to happen in conjunction with UICD and voluntary agencies. All New York City students are eligible for Summer Rising. It starts the week of July 6th. For the kindergartners, I think the week after that for middle school and high school. All the information is really on the DYCD website if I'm missing anything here. And again, you can email Maurice and we'll be more than happy to shoot you links and details for that. But all New York City students are eligible for Summer Rising. It will be education and also fun for the students, which is really useful and needed as we're recovering from the pandemic. The application period started on Monday, so all interested parties should really get their applications in as soon as possible. And the last announcement is at May 4th at 11 a.m. In her capacity as chair of public housing, the council member will have a joint press conference with Senator Chuck Schumer, and this will be regarding NYCHA. So the senator is pushing for an $80 billion infusion, and the council member has been working really diligently with his office to try to make this happen because we need the money. Public housing really needs the money here in New York City. So again, I'm Naomi. If you want to reach me directly, you can give me a call at 718-953-3097. That's 718-953-3097. And for email, please reach out to Maurice M. Cummings at council.nyc.gov. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Let me see. I also see, who else do I see actually? Mr. Honeywell, I know I saw you on earlier for Assemblymember Richardson's office. Did you still want to say any words or?
I just want to say hello to everyone. Just take a minute to introduce myself. CB9 is appointed with Dwayne Joseph, who was the Assemblywoman's constituent service coordinator. He moved on Friday. So I'll be stepping into a position now and handling that work. So just saying hello to everyone and looking forward to working with the board.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome aboard. Is going to looking very forward to working with you as well.
Thank you.
Okay. I also see Mr. David Nussbaum.
Yes, hi, good evening. Just filling in for my colleague Damaris Valero, who usually attends the CB9 meeting. She had a conflict tonight, so she had to attend another meeting. Nothing really to report, just if there's any particular issues, I'm certainly here to take that back with me.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh, and just for background as well, Mr. Nussbaum, you're with the Department of Buildings, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce you properly.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. And let me see. I also see that we have, is Ms. Chambers here?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I bring you greetings from the District Attorney's Office. If you have any issues or concerns, please give me a call. My phone number is 250-4877. And seeing that in the community right now, we have a lot of hate crimes. So the district attorney, Eric Gonzalez, he has formed a task force. So if you know anybody is going through these hate crimes, you can also call me and our office will be glad to help you on that matter. And right now our office also is having our internship for the summer. We are having internship for high school students from junior to seniors. It is a 4-week program. It begins on, applications are from August 20th to I'm saying August, I'm sorry, April 20th to the 25th, but we are still taking applications. So give me a call and I will gladly help you through the process. And there's also going to be a stipend. Every week, the kids will be getting $150. So please give us a call. And if you know any kids are willing or want to go into the criminal justice, I think it's a beautiful opportunity to work for our office. Thank you.
When you say kid, you don't mean, what do you say when you mean?
Students, high school students, junior and seniors.
Okay, actually, one clarification. So you mean rising juniors, kids who are going to be juniors next fall and seniors next fall?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ms. James. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. I also saw, sorry. Do we still have a representative from Congresswoman Yvette Clarke's office? Is Flavin still here?
Yes, I'm here. Do you see me? Good evening, everybody. Okay, so my name is Ellie Slavin. I'm community liaison for Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. There's a lot happening. I'm not going to sit here now and keep you up. Please go on to our website, which is clark.house.gov. A load of information. You can make comments. You can address issues that you want to be addressed. Also, you can get hold of our newsletter, which comes out, and again, with a lot of information. We're open for business by appointment, of course, and our number is 718-287-1142. We're located 222 Lenox Road between Rogers and Nostrand. And we are very busy now with mainly passport issues, visas, immigration, of course, and stimulus. So if you have yourselves or anybody you know who has any issues, please do call us. Like I said, we're in full operation. In regards from the Congresswoman, I update her. I write reports from whatever I hear is going on in the community, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And again, thank you for having me. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Slavin. Are there any other representatives, and my apologies in advance, are there any other representatives from any other elected officials or offices that we missed? Okay, seeing none. Again, I want to thank all the representatives who have shown up this evening. We appreciate you taking the time and the work that you do in terms of relating these issues back to your, to the elected officials as well. For those, if there's anyone here who needs to contact, you can reach out to our district office. They will be able to connect you as well if there's any information or if you need to get in contact with the office. All right, and with that, we are now concluded with our public session. We are now going to begin the business session of board. Madam Secretary, are you still here?
Yes.
Okay, I would ask if you could please call the roll.
1 second, let me pull it up. Okay, please be ready to unmute yourself. Nicholas Almanor.
Present.
Stuart Ballberg.
Present.
Fred Baptiste.
Present.
Virginia Bechtold. Virginia Bechtold. Rabbi Yaakov Berman.
Here.
Warren Burke.
Here.
Augustine Blackwell.
Augustine Blackwell. Aaron Brown. Aaron Brown. Alejandra Carballo, present. Suki Chong.
Present.
Second, sorry. Verlene Dozier.
Here.
Rosemary Evering. Rosemary Evering. Tessa Hackett Vieira. Tessa Hackett Vieira. Bishop Sylvetta Hamilton Gonzalez. Bishop Sylvetta Hamilton Gonzalez. Shlomo Zalman Hecht.
Here.
Wayne King. Wayne King. Primo Lasana. Primo Lasana. I know he was here earlier. He asked a question. So if you could just confirm that he's still here in the chat. Mina Lagute.
Present.
Francisca Leopold. Francisca Leopold. Nolan Levinson.
Here.
Melanie Lewis.
Here.
Michael Liebert.
Here.
Matthias Limberger.
Here.
Menachem Margolin.
Here.
Robert Mitchell. Robert Mitchell.
Remember, you have to remove him from the roster.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologies.
Hey, my apologies. This is Primo. I stepped away for a second. I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Carmen Martinez. Carmen Martinez. Vivian Morgan. Vivian Morgan. Pat Moses.
Here.
Beverly Newsome.
Here.
Yankee Pearson.
Present.
Riel Peerbooms.
Excused.
Amy Pinkerton.
Here.
Unella Rome Perry. Unella Rome Perry. Dexter Roberts. Dexter Roberts. Mary Rollerson Blackett. Mary Rollerson Blackett. Desmo Ross. Melissa Severe.
Here.
Rashida Siddiq. Rabbi Shanina Sperlin.
Here.
Debbie Timothy.
Here.
Linda Watson Lord.
Here.
Evelyn Williams.
Here.
Lorianne Woolsey. Lorianne Woolsey.
Here, present.
All right, Tom, please keep us posted. Thank you for being there for us. Appreciate it. Joining us now, Brown Family Attorney Wayne.
Okay, if I could ask, please, if you've already, well, your name's already been called for attendance, please mute your microphones. Yeah, Madam Secretary, is it possible for you to just call names of those who didn't respond the first time? Just to
Okay.
confirm? Thank you.
To confirm, Virginia Bechtold. Augustine Blackwell. Aaron Brown. Rosemarie Evering. Tessa Hackett Vieira. Bishop Sylvetta Hamilton Gonzalez. Francisco Leopold.
Alejandra is Warren. She called. She is at a meeting for work, and she'll try to get on as soon as possible.
Okay, I'll put excused.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Carmen Martinez. Vivia Morgan. Unella Rome Perry. Dexter Roberts. Mary Rollerson Blackett. Desma Ross. Sorry, was that who just said they were present? Sorry.
Tessa Hackett Bear is here.
Okay, thank you.
Did you hear that? Did you hear
Yes,
me?
I did. I put you down as present. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm late, but I'm here.
Rashida Sadiq. I think that's it. By my count, we have 29 present.
You have 29 present?
Yeah, 29 present, 13 absent, and 2 excused.
I think that's slightly off.
All right, might have
29.
one, and we have miscounted. Apologies.
Okay. Well, listen, as long as you have those names who confirm that they're present, you have 29, your count is 29 present currently, right?
I can recount, but I believe it was 20. It was either 20 or 29.
Hello?
Oh, Carmen Martinez. That's
I'm
gonna.
sorry, I missed attendance. I had to step away. I'm here.
Let me just do a recount real quick.
Okay.
All right, sorry. With that, it's 29 present, including Ms. Martinez and
Okay, that's fine. If you confirm 29 present, we have a quorum.
11 absent and 2 excused.
That adds up. That's correct. 42 members currently. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. We have a quorum. We are now going to go on to the approval of the minutes. I believe the minutes were sent out to the board for last month's meeting. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes for last month? I call for a second time. Are there any corrections to be made for the minutes for last month?
None.
Okay. One last time. Are there any corrections? Seeing none, the minutes stand as distributed. The minutes are approved. Okay. We are now going to go on to the next item in the agenda, committee reports. I believe a number of the chairs have already submitted written reports, which should have been distributed to the board as part of the packet. If there are any chairs who wish to give a verbal report, you may do so. Please keep it brief, less than 2 minutes. Are there
Fred,
any
I have
chairs
to
at this
leave soon.
time?
If I could just briefly,
Absolutely. Please keep it brief, 2 minutes or less.
I just wanted to report that we had Mr. Carl Cohen come to our last meeting, as well as architect. He met with members of the community. They discussed the plaza project that he's trying to build in Clove Road. And the beginning of the meeting was a little contention. There's a lot of contention, different, there was some discussion, but at the end, he said, or at least he implied, he's committed to working with the community going forward. And we all agreed we're going to do our best to work together to come up with a solution on Clove, which is benefits everybody. And I think that Carmen is going to take a lead, and Carl should be updating the community board through the office, and I hope he does, so we could work together to build this plaza or not.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rabbi Berman. Are there any questions for the public safety? We will entertain a couple of questions from the board members for the public safety committee. First question I have, just before you leave. So for all the applicants were voted for in favor by the committee?
Okay, what was the question?
For the applications, all of them were voted for by the committee, correct?
We voted support, yes, and it's in the minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, are there any questions for the public safety chair? We'll take a couple of questions from the board.
Were you able to solve the noise complaint over by Utica, over by Harry Silver?
I refer you to our minutes, please.
That means no. Thank you.
It's not what it means, but I refer you to the minutes.
Okay, well, okay. Are there any other questions for the public safety chair? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. Are there any other chairs who wish to give verbal reports at this time?
Yes, I would. Pat Moses.
Okay, Ms. Moses? Sure, absolutely. Please keep your remarks brief, under 2 minutes.
Okay, time to sign out. No, let me go. I just wanted to say that we submitted our minutes, and the people can review our minutes. Also, I definitely have to speak in terms of the ULUP committee. The ULUP committee has been working pretty hard to try to do the best that we could. What I'm going to ask the people to do, since there were negative remarks made, once again, I'm going to ask the people to go into Community Board 9's website, go to menu, and then go down to where it says new, go down to where you go into menu and you go down to news. Then it's going to be a number of things that's going to be listed. Then you go all the way down to where it says watch the 960 Franklin Avenue presentation here. Click onto that. And when you click onto that, you're going to get that presentation. You're also going to get our April meeting, ULUP, where the community did have some input. So what I'm asking you to do, if you would, is to go there. Once you tap into 960 Franklin Avenue presentation, all the rest of the meetings are going to come up from all the committees. And then I want you to go into our April meeting where some statements were made that there is no input from the community. And once you listen for yourself, you'll make your own judgment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We will take a couple of questions from the board for the chair of the ULUP. Are there any questions? Please raise your hand just so I can establish the speakers list and we'll recognize you after. Are there any questions? Please raise your hand. I don't see anything. If I could ask the district office team, do you see any members with raised hands? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much, Ms. Moses, for your report. Are there any other chairs who have reports for the board? Okay, seeing none. Well, actually, I do have one. Ms. Almanor, are you present?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Okay, thank you very much. If you could, for the board, because I know we weren't able to discuss it during the executive committee. I think there were a couple of items that were voted on by your committee,
Right.
and we did not vote on those in the executive. I think
Right.
one of them is an action item, might be an action item for the board to consider.
Right.
Would you be able to share with the board the actual item that was voted on by the committee?
Yes, if it's possible, I'm going to try to share my screen to show what the two items were. One was a letter. The other one was a PowerPoint presentation regarding the disclosure regarding 960 Franklin Avenue. So let me see if I could share the screen and people can look at it.
All right, that might be the admins. Mia, Dante, Khalid, would one of you be able to give him permission to do that?
You should be able to share your screen.
Okay.
You should be good to go.
I should be good to go? Okay. Just give me a moment. Can everybody see it?
Not yet.
No.
No, your screen is shared, but we do not see the.
Screen is shared. People on the phone
All right,
can't hear.
yes. All right, we now see a PowerPoint presentation.
You can see it now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll play the slideshow. Okay. I'll move to the next slide.
Actually, if I can
Mhm.
suggest, with this presentation, I think this is more informational. So I
Mhm.
don't think there's necessarily any action items for the board at this time. This is
Right.
something that I think was shared with, discussed and presented in the Parks Committee. It was presented at the ULURP, I believe, as well, for
Okay.
informational purposes. But I think that there is a resolution, or there was an action item in terms of a letter that was requested to be drafted. Can you share
Yes, I
that
could.
with the board so that way we can see
Yeah,
that?
let me switch back to the letter. So,
I think that's still the presentation.
yeah, no, I'm bringing out the letter.
And just for the board's notes, so this is also included as part of your package. I believe Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs Committee sent out their minutes. So the letter
It's
should be
also
included as part of that package, correct? Was it included as part of those minutes?
correct. Mhm.
Okay. So it is part of
Yes,
the
they were.
application, Are you able to bring up the other document?
Yeah, I'm trying to still.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, in the interest of time, since the package was sent out, if you could just discuss the resolution, what we'll be considering.
Okay, all right, this is the letter. The letter said the city of New York has made determination that significant adverse shadow impacts will occur to the Brooklyn Botanical Garden, Parkland, and the Jackie Robinson Playground due to the proposed 960 Franklin Avenue development. In 1991, the city put a height limitation along the perimeter of the garden to protect the Brooklyn Botanic Garden and the Jackie Robinson Playground from high-rise development. This section of our community is the only part of our neighborhood with height restriction. Please join us in protecting the Brooklyn Botanical Garden and the Jackie Robinson, according to the New York City Parks Department, BBG Priceless Living Collection, that are a source of beauty, learning, and inspiration to the community. In addition, the Jackie Robinson Playground serves 1,500 low and moderate income families of color in the community. The request is for the board to make this recommendation to get a signature and approval by the elected official within the community board. That's the proposition we're gonna have to vote on.
Okay, thank you very much, Sal. All right, so that's the presentation for Parks. I will discuss that a little bit as well as part of my chairman's report. And that will be an action item that will be discussed up for the board to discuss in the board. Okay. But Mr. Hamler, thank you very much for your report for the Parks Corporation.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, I guess I call one last time. Are there any other committees that would like to give a brief report to the city? Okay, seeing none, we are now going to move on to the district manager's report. I introduce you our, I can't even say new anymore, been here over a month. Our new district manager, Mr. Dante Armand.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I have I feel like a rather extensive DM report that I am pleased to give to you tonight. Just moving forward, I want to let you guys know that, if you ever see anything on the on our website that seems a little off or a link isn't working, please let us know immediately. We really feel like the website is a great avenue for people to get information. So if you see that at any time, please let us know. So I'm just going to give you some updates coming from the administrative side of the community board. First, we put an updated PDF of the community board's bylaws on our website. I think that the previous one might have been missing a couple of pages, but we got that up to date. So if you go on there, you will be able to find an updated version of our bylaws on our website. Next, our office is COVID ready. We have all of the necessary postings in the office. I spoke to the staff today and we felt like opening the office June 1st would be appropriate, but it would be by appointment only. As we get closer to that time, we will discuss, how we want to do appointments. The community board office is not extremely large, so maybe one family at a time, one constituent at a time, but that will be appointment only. We are working to try to get a function on the website where people can go in there and schedule an appointment. But even in the interim, you're more than welcome to tell people to call the office or send an email to the office to schedule an appointment after June 1st. Let's see. Also, our office has submitted an SYP worksite application. We're really trying to figure out a way to, one, obviously be more engaged in the community, but bring youth to the community board. And so please tell people, especially if they're from CB9, to apply to SYP if they're of age. And hopefully, they'll be able to have the opportunity to work for the community board. But we're looking forward to our office being a work site for SYP. A budget request letter was sent out earlier this month to all of the committee chairs. I did receive one request from Fran. So thank you for that, Fran. I know she's not on here, but for the record, if you are still on here and you are a chair, if you have any items that you're interested in doing before the end of this fiscal year, and or if you have any events that you're thinking about for the fall, please submit a budget request letter so we can start working on that. Right now, I'm still reviewing the office budget. So I want to make sure that, those requests are coming in. So once I have a thorough understanding of the finances of our district office, then we can actually sit down, hash out the details and get those programs moving along. But I want to make sure, we have the opportunity to have these types of programs. So if you have a program that your committee is interested in doing, please submit a budget request to the district office. This Friday, we are doing we're starting a series of mask pop-up events throughout the district. We will be hosting these events for a couple of hours at each train station in the district. This Friday, we happen to be at Eastern Parkway from 12 to 2. So if you know anyone in the district who needs masks or they're interested in having masks, please tell them to stop by our table at Eastern Parkway and grab a bag. The bag also has information about the community board. So they're not just getting masks, but they're also getting information to know that there is a community board here to provide them information. We are still in the process of adding minutes and hopefully recordings to the website. It's a lot of data to go up on our website, so that's an ongoing process, but Khalid and Mia have been working very diligently to get that on the website. If you want any minutes, you are more than welcome to give us a call or send us an email. I would prefer you to send an email requesting those minutes, and we will get those minutes to you. We are looking to figure out how we can move all of the recordings that happen for our committees and general meetings to YouTube, so you are able to access that more quickly. So, we understand that we're getting a lot of requests for, meeting videos and recordings. We're working diligently to try to figure out a solution to that. These recordings are a lot of data, and the Department of Information Technology informed us if we put them on our website, it will slow down our website in its entirety. So we're trying to come up with creative and free ways to kind of address that issue. But then again, in the interim, if you need that information, please shoot us an email or give us a call. We'll do that. Oh, I'm pleased to finally announce that our district service cabinet is fully formed. I've been working diligently with the agency representatives to figure out a time that fits best for everyone, and it looks like we will be hosting that the first Tuesday of each month. June 1st will actually be our first one, so I'm going to start laying the groundwork with the agency representatives for issues that are happening in the district. So if anything comes to note, please let the district office know, let the staff know, so I can bring these issues up to our agencies, especially issues that are reoccurring, right? If they're a thing, that is essential, and that thing that needs to be addressed. So please send that information over to the district office so I can feed that information to the agencies and work with them on finding tangible solutions. And the last thing is, if you aren't aware, the decision was made to increase our Zoom capacity to 500. I do want to thank everyone for being patient, but we had to do an assessment of the budget, and I really felt like in the normal times, from my understanding at MS 61, the capacity of the auditorium was 504, 506, somewhere in the 500s at the capacity. So we really were able to make that next step. Even with the 500 Zoom capacity, people can still call in, the same process, but now we have a higher capacity to meet that demand. So please, if you know anyone who may not have internet access, but they have a phone, give them the information. Let's be honest, our staff is only 3 people, and we're one community board. So we also need your assistance in disseminating information through this district. We simply just cannot do it alone. So if you know anyone who's interested in getting information to any committee or to the general, please give them the information to sign in, and then they can listen to the meetings that come forward. With that, that's all I have. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Dante. I want to thank you and your team very much for all the hard work you've been putting. This is, I think, part of what the vision of the board was in terms of this pivot, in terms of, we've got a professional team in the office, we've got leadership. I love the way you've been leveraging the technology. We have a brand new website. Well, not new, but we have a website. We're getting information there, surely. And that's exactly the direction we need to go, and I thank you for that. At this time, we will take a couple of questions from the board for the district manager.
I have a question, Pat.
Okay, hold on one second, Pat. I'll recognize you. Is there anybody else as well, just so we can get to it?
See Pat and
Sorry.
Suki.
Okay. Okay, we'll go with that. So go ahead, Ms. Moses, and Suki will recognize.
Oh, I just want to know, would the board members be getting a listing of the cabinet members? Because I guess we have to know who they are. So you said you have a full, we don't know who they are. And the second thing I want to ask is, when you do open up your office, our office, will they be required to wear masks, the people that are coming in?
Thank you for both questions. Yes, individuals will be required to wear masks. There's a lot of purple signs in the office. So when anyone comes in into our office, no matter if it's a board member, the staff, or the general public, they will be required to wear a mask. In terms of the listing for the district service cabinet, I just made those final preparations today. I have absolutely no issue letting you guys know who exactly will be serving on that district cabinet. A couple people may change, I think more specifically with parks, but the information that I have now, I have no problem sending that out to you. I will work with Khalid and Mia to get that to you. It should be probably in the weekly e-pass, since I already have the information. So I will work with them to ensure that you have those agency representatives' names.
Okay, thank you. And so, see.
I don't know if it's just my Zoom, but I don't seem to have chat this time around, and I'm just wondering if it was not enabled, because it's usually quite useful for people to be able to put their contact information or like flyers from the elected officials, things like that.
Yeah, the chat was not enabled, but if anyone has any information, you can blast that over to our office. If you just send the email with your full contact information, your name, and if you have those flyers or you're pushing information for another organization, give us the contact information, and we can also put that in our weekly e-blast that goes out.
Like I've had neighbors who want to talk to DOB.
Okay.
So if Mr. Nussbaum could put DOB's community liaison information out there, that'd be great.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I'll be happy to send that. Sure.
Mr. Armoyer.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I do see a couple more questions popped up. I did say a couple before. We will recognize just a couple more, and then we're gonna have to move on to the agenda. All right, so I do see Primo, I do see your name, and I see Amy Pinkerton. And I thought I heard, who was that? Was Mr. Belberg?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so we're going to go Lasana, Pinkerton, Belberg. We're gonna close on you. Please keep your questions brief.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just have to briefly agree with Suki that I know that the chat has been disabled intentionally, but I find it far more helpful than it is disruptive. So just sharing that thought.
Great, thank you, Primo. Ms. Pinkerton.
Yeah, I want to join in with the chat. I think the chat is a good idea. You don't have to opt to look at it if you don't want to, but if it's disabled for a particular reason, can you let us know what the reason is? And can you reconsider or take a poll to see whether it'd be better to have it than not have it?
I'm willing to talk to members of the community board, if they feel like the chat is something that is extremely useful, then, I have no problem, talking to the staff to make sure that we can get that back. Sometimes in the meetings, the chat, it can get a little loose, and sometimes it's rather difficult to find the information that people post, and they have to post it 4, 5, 6 times. But I definitely have no issue talking to the members of the board, and if that's something that they want to entertain, then we'll entertain it.
Okay, and Mr. Valberg.
Yes, thank you, Mr. District Manager. I want you to know that as demanding as the job is in this district, so is the support that you get in the grassroots and traditionally that this board has gotten from the public. My question that I want to ask is, if people have service delivery requests that are made by telephone, will there be during the entire business hours accessibility to discuss things over the telephone?
Could someone translate that question?
Okay.
If people call in, will they take call-ins?
Yeah, will we take call-ins?
Is that accurate, Mr. Valberg?
Yes, when if somebody has a complaint, will there be somebody in person to answer the phone and to take service delivery complaints?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, as soon as, yeah, yes, there would be people, our staff will be there to take those service delivery complaints. You can do that, or if you want to send email, whatever is most convenient for you. Thank you for your question.
Just as a note, staff has been there. They're taking calls now. The phones have all been forwarded so that staff has access to them. So if you call the district office number, it will either forward or it'll give you the number in terms of being able to contact somebody live. And they've been fantastic in regards to actually picking up and responding to customer complaints. They haven't missed a beat throughout this entire pandemic, and I tip the hat to them.
Yeah, and just last thing I will note is that our staff is not in the office every day right now. We go in 3 days a week. So yeah, sometimes the calls get forwarded. If you don't get a staffer on the phone, please leave a voicemail and leave your contact information, and we will get back to that. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dante. Okay, we are now going to move on in the agenda to the chair, report of the chair. I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible. And I think, fortunately, many of the items that I have either have been reflected in committee reports or have been mentioned by various chairs this evening. Okay, so first, let's start with Bueller. So 960 Franklin, we are currently still in, sorry, bear with me 1 second. Yeah, so with regards to 960 Franklin, the TRO is still currently in effect. I believe that a message had gone out sometime point last week. There was a hearing. I heard about it third hand as well, but there was a hearing last week. My understanding is that the TRO is currently still in effect. Nothing has changed with that regard. The board is continuing its posture in terms of, I'm not exactly sure where this is going. There are conversations that are happening, conversations that at some point I'm assuming we will be included in, but we're not sure where this is going yet. As a board, what we are doing is adhering to the spirit of the TRO in terms of we have not scheduled the hearing yet. I think that is part of one of the sticking points with regards to the format the hearing is going to take. As such, we have not formulated any opinions with regards, and I want to be very clear, the board has not formulated any opinions with regards to the 960 Franklin one way or another position. Obviously, board members have feelings, board members have thoughts, community members have feelings and thoughts. Those will all be crystallized when we actually have a final vote. But we are a deliberative body. We are trying to make sure that we are getting all the information, that all sides are represented, and at that point, as a board, we will make decisions in terms of what we feel really represents the feeling and the best interest of this community. But until that happens, I again caution in terms of moving forward and creating, making any determinations that prejudice the process at any point. The board has been working very diligently. Again, I point to the the increase with regards to the Zoom license. I think that was a very big sticking point. So the district manager was able to increase the license up to the 500 capacity. And the district office, we are continuing to look at what options we do have, or we may be able to entertain with regards to a hearing and the EULA process in general as we go forward. So as we get additional information, that will be shared with the EULA chair and the other relevant committees as well. That's been the process we've adopted as a board since this came up, and we're going to continue with that, and I think it's been very effective. I do want to thank all the chairs, so I want to thank the EULA chair, Ms. Moses. I want to thank our housing chair, Ms. Caraballo. I want to thank our environmental protection committee, Mr. Burke. I want to thank our Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs committee, chaired by Mr. Almanor, for all the work you're doing, and absolutely continue to do that work. There is one point that I do need to make in regards to the proposal that was brought up by the Parks Committee. Absolutely have very great respect for their work, but going back to the principle in terms of the deliberative body can't come out ahead of a decision or making determination of the board. So I think it's premature for the board to go ahead and approve or a letter to go off to elected officials, kind of putting a stake in the ground in terms of the board feels this way. That is going to be something that happens once the board makes an official determination in terms of, we find these to be the facts of the matter, this is the position of the board, and at that point, we will definitely be engaging all of the parties, elected officials or any other parties as well in terms of doing anything to support that. But prior to that, it's premature. So that's with regards to that. And bring my notes. Okay. Yes, we are now. Now this is April. Per our bylaws, we are now in election season. So one of the first acts of the board is, or for the chair, the responsibility of the chair, is to appoint a nominations committee. That committee is going to take us through the election process. In terms of, first they'll be reaching out. First they'll meet. They'll outline the parameters of the process, what they're going to be doing. They'll be conducting outreach to board members in terms of identifying which candidates are interested, and presenting a list of interested candidates at the May meeting. At the May meeting, they will then identify if there are any other members of the board who are interested in it with regards to any positions, and they will actually set up the elections process. So that is the way the process is set up as part of our bylaws, and they are going to carry that out. And with no further ado, following members have been requested and have graciously accepted to serve on the nominations committee for this year. We have Mr. Nolan Levinson, we have Ms. Tessa Hackett-Vieira, we have Ms. Melissa Severe, we have Mr. Nicholas Almanor, and we have Mr. Primo Lasana. So those members of the board will be serving as part of the nominations committee. They will be convening. We'll be convening a meeting with them, which will be public, subject to all OML requirements, at which point they will select a chair, and they will identify the process by which they're going to continue in conducting the elections. And also, in that same vein with the election, I wanted to bring it to the board's attention. Last year, because of the pandemic, there were a number of executive orders that were issued by the governor, one of which relaxed the requirements for the open meetings law in terms of we were able to do electronic meetings. But the other aspect that we definitely need to consider as a board is that because we're meeting electronically and we're doing a lot of our business electronically, one of the things we are precluded by doing voting electronically. And that's a matter of our bylaws actually require paper ballots. Last year, we had actually created an amendment which addressed that, allowing for electronic meetings, but also allowing for electronic voting. As at the time, we did not understand, we didn't know how long the pandemic was going to go for, and also because it was also based on the governor's executive order. We had created the amendments that way it sunset last year. I put it forward to the board where we may need to actually do another amendment to the bylaws to extend that for this year's election as well. So for the bylaws, the language needs to be put forward before the board, minimum of 10 days prior to the vote. We expect to have this amendment drafted to the board prior to that time, and we expect to hopefully have a vote in the May meeting. Now, as I say that, some of that may also be dependent. Everyone gets the vaccine within the next 30 or 40 days. Or if there is a lapse in the governor's order in which he actually allows for return to public meetings, we'll see what our options are at this point. But I think it's only prudent for us to actually start considering at this point that we may need to amend our bylaws to do so. And I think this is the last item. I also wanted to bring it up. Last year, when we created the calendar for the year, we tried to account for all the dates which the board meets. Typically, we meet on the 4th Tuesdays of the month. So we created a calendar. One thing that was not set already was the New York primary day. So we did not have a date for that. So we had already scheduled our June meeting for June 22nd. Primary day has already been established, and there is going to be a conflict. So what I bring for the board's attention this evening, and perhaps as a matter of voting item we can consider, is to actually move the June meeting date to the following day, June 23rd. So this will allow us to, obviously it's an off day, but we're trying to give enough time for board members to rearrange schedules as necessary. We don't want to interrupt our election cycle because the June meeting is critical for elections as well. But we want to give enough notice so that way we can make sure there's full participation on the part of all board members. So with that, I think that is all I have at this time. I will entertain a couple of questions.
Fred,
Please raise your hands and I'll recognize. Oh, sure. Hold on. Let me Fred.
It's not a question, Fred. I don't think, what's her name? Lorraine Thomas? I think she passed away, right?
We did recognize that. We observed a moment of silence at the beginning of the meeting. Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
thank you.
No, but thank you for bringing that up. All right, I do see Ms. Roan Perry. Hold on one second. I'm just creating the list. Let's see, Ms. Pinkerton. Hold on. Are there any other board members? Are there any other board members at this time for a question? Okay, seeing none, we're going to go down the list. Ms. Roan Perry, you got a question? Hello, Yanela? Yanela, you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Did you have a question?
Yes, so we're gonna amend the so that we could vote electronically.
Correct.
Do you have the time frame? We'll get it before the next meeting?
Absolutely. We're trying to time it a little bit in terms of, one, we want to just kind of look over the language from last year, just to make sure it's still relevant. Two, I'm also trying to buy a little bit of time because it's also dependent on the governor's orders. The last governor's order extended it through May 16th, which doesn't necessarily get us to our date. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we get that date in terms of if it's extended or if they're not going to extend it. So that gives us a little time. But the information, the text will be sent out to all the board members prior to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Ms. Pinkerton.
Hi, I don't know if this is the right place to ask, but I had a question about when you mentioned the TRO that's in place. So is this now the time to ask for it, or is it unfinished business or new business, or?
You can ask me the question. I'll try and answer the best way.
All right, I'm a little confused. It seemed like a previous board meeting. I don't know if it was the March or April one, where I believe Alicia read the judge's statement, what the TRO meant as far as board discussions go. And it seemed like we are free to talk about anything we want regarding 960, but we're just not going to hold a hearing. So if there's, can you clarify your position on this? I mean, it may sound like when you said the TRO is in place and that's it, what does that mean to you? And are you stopping discussions on it because there's a TRO in place? I don't know what your position is. That's all. I just want clarity around it.
Sure, absolutely. The position, my position as chair has never been that there's no discussion. Obviously, there's a slight disconnect in terms of we are an affected party, but we're not in the room when they have the conversations. So I do take with a grain of salt all the information I do have, only because obviously I'm not in the room and we're not in the room. The one thing I want to do, make sure that we do as a board, is preserve our ability to make a fair and impartial decision. Part of that is making sure that we're able to have public commentary, we're able to do the hearing as inclusive as possible. Part of that means we don't make any prejudgments prior to the fact, prior to getting all the facts. So some of the stuff is still being wound down through the, the court decision. As we get information, absolutely. The committees are absolutely empowered to have conversations. The only thing we're withholding from is making any final determinations in terms of we say that we agree with this or anything else, because that serves to prejudice the process later on, and that's what we're trying to avoid. For the committees, I've had the chairs, and I hope the chairs play with that as well. Absolutely, you can discuss whatever it is. If there are information requests that you still have, absolutely, you can still continue to do that. The only thing we're withholding is actually making any final determination until the.
All right, so that's great. So I just wanted to clarify also that Maxine Barnes earlier today brought up quite a few things, and I just wanted, we haven't really discussed the things that you brought out. It seems like every week we still don't have this information, and I think that the board asked for the declaration page of this. It just seems like, I don't know what it is, but we don't have the information that we need, and I don't know what the board is doing about it. You seem like you said you requested it, or?
We are in the same boat. We don't have the information either. That's why you don't have the information. The district.
No, I mean, have we requested it as a board? Have we requested it, and are we following up with it?
Ms. Pinkerton, absolutely, we've requested this. This is a long-standing request, and we keep following up on it. When we have the information, we're not holding back anything. So when we get it, you will absolutely have it as well. So just to be clear about that, that's an allegation that, and just to say this at this moment, there's a number of allegations going around. This board is not holding anything back. This board has not judged anything. Some people would have you believe that some people are doing it for political reasons or because we're on the take, which is quite frankly nonsense. And I think we need to stop the nonsense. This board works very hard. We have a lot of members who are dedicated, who do this, we do this because we care about our community. Nobody has a bigger cake than anyone else around here. So you know what? As a board, we're going to do our duty in terms of making sure we are fair and impartial. And when we come to a decision and we need to act, we are going to act vigorously. That is the thing. All right. Ms. Lewis, I see your hand. Amy, you asked the question, answered. Thank you. If you want to take it offline, absolutely feel free to reach out. Ms. Lewis.
Thank you. I just wanted clarification because I couldn't hear that well when you were speaking, Mr. Chair, in reference to the parks presentation. You said that we're going to vote in relation to that on this evening, if I'm correct?
That is correct. And to clarify, so the parks, the way the process the board works, committees do not act on their own. They don't have the authority to act on their own. Those actions will come up either as a matter of a review by the executive committee and its oversight. So if it's something smaller, like it's a, it's a no-brainer, just to be, locally about it, if it's a no-brainer, the executive committee can say, no, that sounds great, go with it, run with it. If it's a larger issue, sometimes we will say, listen, those things have to be really discussed by the board. If it is something the board should discuss and take as a position. At that point, it'll go to the board. The parks action with regards to the letter did not get an opportunity to be reviewed by the executive committee. There were some questions with regards to that. So we deferred to say, listen, it's okay to bring it to the board and let's have the conversation with regards to it. So the proposition was the letter that you was read by Chair Almanor, which was also a part of the packet that you received. But the caution I do have with that is that as a board so far, we are not, it's really probably something we don't want to go down that path with regards to taking a position when we haven't heard everything, we don't have all the information. It's probably something we should wait a little bit when we have some more information and when the time is appropriate. Absolutely, as a board, we should vote on it. And, if we say we approve the position, and that's one of the positions we approve, listen, we'll send every letter there is, and I'll sign every one of them. But I think it's a matter of the board needs to be careful in terms of how we approach. I'm sorry, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess I'm just curious now as to how it's going to be presented for vote, but I guess we'll see that when we come to it.
Well, yeah, when we get to the voting items, it was part of their minutes, so it was approved by them, so it'll be introduced as a voting item, and the board will have an opportunity to either take up their recommendation or vote it down, or we can move the table as well. So those are the options. Okay. All right. All right. I think that's all we have at this time. So that concludes my chairman's report with the action items that we're going to review. We're going to vote on the PRC letter. I think we should entertain a vote with regards to the June meeting. And we have votes pending with regards to the SLA applications. All right, and with that, my chairman's report concludes, and we will now move on to the voting section, the voting session of the board. All right. First, let's take care of the dispose of the SLA applications. There were 3 applications that were submitted by the Public Safety Committee. Public Safety Chair has already stated that the committee has already voted in favor of all 3. Let me ask this: is there any unreadiness with regards to combining the 3 applications into one resolution?
You're asking the board or the chair?
No, I don't believe the chair is here. I'm asking the board. Is there in readiness? Do we want to handle this separately, or can we handle them as one resolution?
Separately.
Fair enough. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Item number 1, and I'm just bringing it up very quickly. Okay. So first application we're going to consider is the Brooklyn Food and Arts LLC and Great Performances Artists as Waitresses Incorporated application. This is for an alteration to an existing license. The committee voted in favor. I will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
I move to adopt the resolution by unanimous consent.
I have a motion to adopt by unanimous consent. I have a second. Are there any objections?
What's the alteration? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
As part of their application, hold on.
Brooklyn Museum wants to build a bar outside in their garden.
And I believe move one bar on the 3rd floor from one side to the other. That's the alteration.
Yeah, that's correct. As a public safety committee member, that is correct.
Thank you.
Teamwork. Gotta love it. All right. So with that, are there any objections to unanimous consent?
So moved, sir.
Okay. Seeing none, Madam Secretary, please put that as a unanimous vote on by the board. Okay. Next item on the list is for Moz Soul Food Plus LLC. This is for a new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. The recommendation of the committee was to adopt. Do I have a motion to for the board to take up the recommendation?
Do you have a recommendation to do what, Fred?
To accept the recommendation and approve the application.
So moved.
I'm sorry, I didn't see who was that? Beverly, was that you?
So moved. Tessa Hackett Vera, Public Safety Committee member.
Duly noted. So Tessa Hackett Vieira, moved by Tessa Hackett Vieira. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Who's the second by?
Alejandra.
I'm sorry?
Alejandra.
Alejandra, thank you. I apologize for receiving this video. Okay, seconded by Alejandra Parabayo. All right, is there any discussion?
Did we have any complaints regarding their license and their being new? This new
Tessa,
license,
would you be able to
correct?
address? This is a new license, correct? So
yes.
Yeah, Tessa, was there any conversation with regards to that during the committee?
With response to Ms. Newsom's question, Fred, is this the new wine, beer, and liquor license that would be in the plaza right there off Bedford Avenue by the bicycle shop? Is that the one? Yes. Yes.
Right, 140 Empire, correct, 140.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. They're brand new. There's it's in a brand new application. The owner proprietor came to our meeting. She was very appropriate in what they're hoping to do. She is a new business coming into what is an old space there in the plaza, and the committee is very, very much in favor of giving her an opportunity to make this soul food place work in a place where there's a lot of people who might be interested in soul food.
Empire and what, Tessa? It's Empire and what?
140 Empire.
It's
Beverly,
140 Empire. You know that
it's
plaza?
between Bedford and Flatbush.
Bedford and Flatbush. You know,
where
right
the
on the corner there,
7-Eleven
there's a
used to be.
bicycle shop, and then there's a dance studio, and then there's two other things in there. What else is in there, Debbie?
It used to be Pizza Hut, used to be 7-Eleven.
Right.
Oh, that's where it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that little
Where
piece
the
of strip
pharmacy
mall.
is.
The pharmacy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, that little half-baked strip mall, yeah.
Right.
Half-baked strip mall.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's try and get this. So, are there any other questions? Is there any other readiness? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to call the question. All right. Are all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. Are there any opposed?
Opposed?
All right. Please. I'm sorry. Was that Beverly? Was that you?
Yes, that was me.
Okay. Please record Beverly Newsom as a no. Are there any other no's?
You're vaccinated.
Seeing no other no's, are there any abstentions?
So for those who haven't gotten the vaccination.
Seeing none, please record that the motion passed with one member not in favor. Okay. The motion passes. The application is approved. Moving on to item C, Taste of the City Lounge Incorporated, 903 Franklin Avenue. The recommendation of the committee was to approve the application. Do I have a motion to accept the recommendation and approve the application?
I have a question.
Oh, hold on. Before,
I have a
is it with regards to
suggestion.
this?
I'm sorry?
Sure. What is your suggestion?
Okay, so I think he needs to, get a sense as to exactly what his hours is going to be. Because he was kind of all over the place with
Okay.
that.
Well, hold on. So let's do this. Hold on. So let's put a motion on the floor, and then we can have conversation over that with regards to this.
Okay.
That'll be a question, okay? All right. Do I have a motion to entertain this, the recommendation?
Second.
It's moved by Alejandra, seconded by Debbie.
Yeah, Tessa, I believe, or by me, whichever.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to take over, so somebody else second.
Debbie.
Okay. All right then. And Debbie. Okay. So we have moved and seconded. Discussion. Debbie, so you had a question?
No, I just thought that he needs to get his hours together. Because he said one thing before and then he said something else after.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, so he needs he needs to get his hours tightened up in terms of the days and the times and all that.
So when he left Timothy, you weren't sure?
He gave, someone asked a question after he gave the hours and then he said a different hour. So I'm just going by the notes that I made. So I just, wanted to make sure that he knew exactly what his hours were on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then the other days.
It was me who asked the question.
Yeah.
And he initially said he was going to close at 4 on Saturday. Then he said at 2 a.m. So I think there is some discrepancy in the time of closing, and he didn't know what was going on for Sunday. So for me, I think that's an issue.
Yeah, for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, he said from 10 to 2 a.m. And then for the other days, he said 12 to 10. And then when the question was asked, he said something else, so.
And where is he?
He's
on Franklin Avenue next to the supermarket,
The new supermarket?
the Associated Supermarket.
It's right.
Franklin.
It's right where
Okay.
Pickley's used to be, across from the precinct, the trafficked precinct.
Across from the
okay.
precinct.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
So my question is, this discussion about us not being sure about his time, so that means we're not going to vote on him tonight, correct?
Well, here are the options for the board. If it's a deal killer, then you can always vote no, and we can just say, no, we're not going to do it. If it's something that you want more information, we can move to table and ask him to clarify that position.
Okay.
I move to table.
Okay, well, also, let me offer this as well before we accept that. The other thing we've done is, in the past, we have done provisional, well, no, actually, probably we don't want to do that. We've done provisional acceptances before, but I think you need to answer the question because that might affect some people.
Yeah, he needs to answer.
All right, so did I see a move to table?
Yes.
Okay.
Move to table.
So, all right, so we have a move to table by Ms. Newsom. Do I have a second?
Second, Lorianne Woolsey.
Second by Lorianne Woolsey. All those members of the board in favor, please say aye.
Can we have discussion, please? Discussion, please,
I'm
Mr. Chair.
Sure, okay, absolutely. What is your question?
Can you just clarify why we're moving to table one more time? I missed that, I'm sorry.
I think there's some readiness on the part of board members, and if I get it wrong, please always correct me. In terms of, I think they want to understand better the timing, in terms of how late this is going to go, how that's going to be affected.
Whether he's going to stay
You
open
mean-
till
mean
midnight or 2
When
or
he's open
4?
for business?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah, when he's open for business. If he's staying until midnight or 4 o'clock or, whatever that is, or whatever the deal is with that.
So and that impacts the license how?
Well, I think it sounds like some of the feeling of some of the members is that they would like better understanding in terms of, are we approving something that's going to stay open all hours of the night, or is it something that closes at 12, or is there a conversation in between?
And he's already
It's a eating establishment, so I don't know if he's really going to be open till 4 o'clock in the morning. But
Yeah, it's
you
a
know,
Caribbean American, Caribbean
there might-
American restaurant.
He said it
Yeah,
was
so-
a lounge also, a restaurant/lounge.
So that
Yeah,
means
so-
we're going to have, on that street, they're going to be Union Street in Franklin, one on the other side of the street and where he sits. So we do need to know what his hours are going to be.
Definitely.
Can I just name that
Why?
all of his hours are in his application?
Right, that was my question.
So there's no mystery about it. Like they're in the application. He just was in a car and didn't have the information in front of him. But if you go to our agenda and open up the application, his hours are very clearly stated there. So I feel like we should be voting on the application rather than kind of the numbers that he was pulling off the top of his head. That restaurant used to be Pickley's. It was kind of a restaurant / late night lounge. It was open sometimes at the night. Like he said, they didn't let people onto the sidewalk. There is no backyard. All of the sound is pretty much contained to the establishment itself. I live across the street. I'm familiar with this place. I would recommend that we just move forward based on the information that's in the application, rather than
I
teasing
agree.
this out further.
I agree 100%.
I agree.
I agree.
Thanks, Primo, for the clarification.
Thanks,
Excuse me.
Primo.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
All
too,
right,
Primo.
okay.
And I
All
agree
right,
with
so
you.
let's do this. So let's do this then. Let's just
Hey,
put the motion to the
Warren.
table on the floor.
Fred,
Yes, Warren. Yes, Warren.
I just want to point out that I agree that we should do it on the application. And also that we have about 50% of our storefronts empty. And if we need employment and we need more places for people to go. So
Yeah,
if
but we don't get to nitpick over his opening hours.
Well,
He's a
hold on. Right, okay, let's try and move this quickly.
Yeah.
Right now, we just have a motion to table.
Does that mean I'm finished?
So, I'll give you an opportunity to discuss the merits of his application momentarily. But let's just get rid of the motion to table so we can get to the business. and I'll recognize you then, okay?
No, I don't want to table it.
You want to?
No. I think.
No, and
I
that's what I'm
think-
saying. What I'm saying is there's a motion to table. So
Okay.
let's get rid of the motion to table, vote it down if that's the will of the board, and then we consider the original question, do we approve? At that
Thank
time,
you.
if you would like to speak on the merits, we'll do that.
I
Okay, fair
misunderstood.
enough? No problem. All right, so all those in favor of the motion to table, if you vote yes, that means you want to table it. If you vote no, that means you don't. All those in favor of tabling, please say aye.
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 Okay, all those who,
Roll call.
all those
We
who,
can't do it like this.
yeah, we're gonna have to, yeah, okay. Fair enough. Madam Secretary, can you please call the roll?
All right, everybody, be prepared to unmute your mics to respond when I call your name.
So maybe you should be clear, Fred, as to what people are voting for.
Right now, the vote is to table the consideration of the SLA license for the, was it?
Or not table it.
The city lounge on, and so if you're voting yes, it means that we will no longer consider it and we'll wait till next month to consider it once we have more information from the owner. If you vote no, it means that the matter is still considered and we will either vote to approve or no. So yes is to table, no is to keep the matter under consideration at tonight's meeting.
Yeah, but based on Primo's explanation, I think we are clear now.
Right, no, but the problem is, we have a motion to table, so we have to get rid of that motion one way
Okay,
or another.
okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Nicholas Almanor.
No.
Stuart Ballberg.
No.
Fred Baptiste.
No.
Virginia Bechtold.
No.
Rabbi Berman.
He left.
Warren Burke.
No.
Alejandro Carballo, no. Suki Chong.
No.
Oh, sorry, hold on one second. Verlene Dozier.
No.
Tessa Hackett Vieira.
No.
Shlomo Zalman Hecht.
No.
Wayne King. Wayne King. Primo Lasana.
No.
Francisca Leopold. Oh, sorry, she is not present. Mina Lagute.
No.
Nolan Levinson. Nolan Levinson. Melanie Lewis.
No.
Michael Liebert.
No.
Matthias Limburger.
No.
Menachem Margolin.
No.
Carmen Martinez.
No.
Vivio. Oh wait, not present.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. How do you vote, Ms. Morgan?
No.
Pat Moses.
No.
Beverly Newsom.
I vote to table.
Yankee Pearson.
No.
Amy Pinkerton.
No.
Melissa Sevier,
No.
Rabbi Sperlin,
No.
Debbie Timothy,
No.
Linda Watson Lord,
No.
Evelyn Williams,
No.
Lorianne Wolseley. Sorry, I didn't get that, Lorianne.
Yes.
Okay, believe it's 28 yes, or sorry, apologies, 27 no votes, 2 yes votes, and so the motion at table fails.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. Are there any members whose votes were not recorded? We didn't hear your name. Please speak now. Okay, seeing none, the motion fails. We are now back to the original motion to accept the recommendation of the Public Safety Committee and approve the application. All right, I will start a speakers list. Warren, I know you had a question. Who else has a wishes to speak on the motion? Okay, seeing no one else, Warren, go ahead and we're going to close. I'm sorry, so yes,
Hi, it's Warren. You know, I just want to point out here that we are in a pandemic. We've had a tremendous number of businesses close, and multiply that by, I don't know, thousands of jobs. We have 50–60% of our storefronts empty. So I just support this business as a place that can employ people. If we're dickering over a couple of hours, the Public Safety Board can, you know, define that. But I do want to make a point that this isn't a commercial district. So I don't know what the effect will be, but I think we should consider that in our comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. Suki, I have you next.
So I did look at the application as Primo suggested, and it looks like the opening hours, or rather the closing hours, which is what everyone really cares about, it's 3 a.m. Friday through Saturday, 12 a.m. on Sunday, and 12 a.m. Monday through Thursday. I think 3 a.m. is very late. And I do think that most public safety committees and community boards do stipulations about things like closing times. I think that's legitimate. I don't think it's going to put anybody out of business. But I don't live in this part of the community, so I think it's up to the board members who do.
Okay, thank you very much. I see Michael Liebert, and then I see Melanie Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to say I do live closer to this place than Suki. And I think the way to evaluate this, one of the things to consider is what Warren said, that part of Franklin has been a ghost town for years in terms of retail. And so we should try and support any business there. And secondly, if we're concerned about time, this place should be open at a time that's consistent with the other places on a little further north in Franklin, between Union and Eastern Parkway. There are several bars there that I believe stay open till 3 or 4 in the morning. So this is not unusual for that strip. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Lewis.
Hi. So if we're saying that it's going to be where Picklett's was, I used to be inside of there and I was in the back. So if it's situated the same way it was, it is enclosed, as explained. And the police department is right across the street. So I don't think they're going to be doing too many things very extra. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to be being crazy, you know? And also, They can't really close the same time as other businesses on that street because it's the supermarket. The supermarket closed at 9. So if they trying to stay open until 3, that's a significant difference. So I don't think they're gonna be crazy, but it's not my business. But I'm just saying I've been inside of the location myself, and I don't think it'll be a big deal.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Ms. Lewison, I see you.
One of the things that we're overlooking, a lot of those storefronts are closed because the landlords or the owners of the buildings are waiting for the highest bidder. Because I've spoken to some people who asked to rent the spots, a couple of those buildings on Franklin Avenue, and the rent that they were quoted was excessive. So those buildings aren't empty because of lack of interest. Those buildings are empty because of greed.
All right, that's all I see with regards to my speakers list. Okay, I see Tessa. All right, go ahead, Tessa.
Yes, so, yes. Thank you. I'm not sure that, he can really be open till 3 o'clock in the morning, but if he's a bar lounge, he might be. I don't know who his patrons might be for that end of Franklin Avenue. But at this juncture, I agree with Ms. Lewis that the precinct is across the street. And if we're concerned about his hours of closing as, some neighborhood infringement of some kind with regard to noise or anything else, the precinct is across the street. So if we want to stipulate possibly that 3 a.m. is later than we think is appropriate, we can certainly say that. But I think we should vote on the motion tonight. It's an application for a wine, beer, and liquor license. The other establishment that was there was in the same vein. He's attempting to reopen in the same vein of something that was already there. So it's not a new creation, and we shouldn't make it a new issue. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to speak, and then I think we should probably call the question. I think we're at the stage where I think, is it something that's grossly out of line with what those kinds of businesses do? Probably not. Are we definitely experiencing a dearth of businesses? Yeah, we really are. I think it's at the very least, especially given the climate we're in, something where we can probably give him the benefit of the doubt in terms of, if you're going to come in, we're going to support you, but you got to be a good neighbor. I believe the licenses are only good for, what is it, a year or 2 years? I'm trying to remember.
I believe it's 2 years.
2 years. So he has a very short time, and those 2 years go very quickly. He can either be a good neighbor,
It depends on the license, but if I remember correctly, it's 2 years. Not more than 2 years.
Listen, he has an opportunity to either really be a good partner in this community, or he's coming back before us, and you know what? We'll chase it down with everything we have in terms of making sure he doesn't come back if he's not going to hold it up.
Fred, I just want to clarify to the board, Mr. Chair, he's required to come before us. The process doesn't stop when we don't weigh in or do weigh in. The process continues. So the State Liquor Authority really, they're not going to wait around for us, to decide on the real appropriate venue for these questions are the committee at the committee level. I understand his concerns, but we're going to table it. The process is going to continue. So whatever.
I think we've already passed that point in terms of we're going to do something with this application. My thing is, my recommendation is, I'm sorry.
Can I call the question? It's Warren.
Well, not if you interrupt the chair.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Can I finish before you call the question?
Okay, go ahead.
All right, there we go. Thanks, Warren. Yeah, give the guy a chance. He's coming back for us one way or another. Either he's going to be a good partner or we'll get him out. And the commitment of this board is, I think one of the things that we have to get better at, and we'll do that, is we're following these applicants. We're going to see who the bad actors are. We're going to do our best to make sure that they don't come back if they don't. All right. With that being said, Warren, did you have something you wanted to say?
I forgot. No, I call the question.
All right. So the question for the board is to approve the recommendation of, to approve this application. Madam Secretary, could you please call the roll?
Okay. The question is to whether or not to approve the recommendation for the Soleil liquor.
For the
license.
state, for the liquor license for
Yeah.
Franklin Avenue.
Yes. So yes votes to approve, no vote is to not approve. Nicholas Almanar.
Come back to me.
We need to
Okay, I think he said to come back.
Chair,
Stuart Ballberg.
Yes.
Fred Baptiste.
Yes.
Virginia Bechtold. Virginia Bechtold. Warren Burke.
Yes.
Augustine Blackwell. Oh, sorry, no. Alejandro Carballo, yes. Suki Chong.
Jaco Burn is here as well.
Oh, apologies, you weren't here for the last vote. What's your vote, Yakov?
Yes, yes as well.
Okay. Suki Chong.
Abstain.
Berlene Dozier.
Yes.
Tessa Hackett Vieira.
Absolutely.
Shlomo Zalman Hecht.
yes.
Wayne King. Actually, not present. Primo Lasana.
Yes.
Mina Lagute.
Yes.
Melanie Lewis.
Yes.
Michael Liber. Mike
Yes.
Matthias Limberger. Matthias Limberger. Menachem Margolin.
Yes.
Carmen Martinez.
Yes.
Vivian Morgan. Vivian Morgan.
Yes.
Pat Moses.
Yes.
Beverly Newsom.
No.
Yankee Pearson. Yankee Pearson.
No.
Amy Pinkerton.
Yes.
Melissa Sevier.
Yes.
Rabbi Sperlin. Rabbi Sperlin. Debbie Timothy.
Yes.
Linda Watson Lord.
Yes. Sorry.
Evelyn Williams.
Yes, 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 yes.
Lorianne
You only
will
get one yes on that.
Abstain.
tentatively 23 yes votes, 2 abstentions, and 3 no votes.
Absolutely, yes.
Double check.
Hold on, Ms. Almanor, what was your vote?
Absolutely, yes.
I'm sorry, I stepped away. My vote's a yes. Matthijs Limburger, yes.
Alejandra, it's Yanela. I got back in. I'd lost power, but no.
So it puts us at 26 yes votes, 2 abstentions. Actually, apologies. 25 yes votes, 2 abstentions, and 3 no votes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Secretary. The vote carries. The application is approved. Okay, we have 2 items. We're going to try and get through these as quick as possible. So now, let's take this one first. With regards to moving the June date. So as I said before, we have a conflict. We're going to run into primary day. So what we're trying to do is actually move this date so that way we're not too far into June, because we run into a very tight deadline at the end of the month. But we don't want to, we want to make sure we keep this close to the date as possible. We're asking for board members to make this accommodation with respect to, we know that our normal date is a Tuesday. So this is the one time, this is the last meeting of the year. And this is our elections as well. So we'll need all participation from board members. I will entertain a motion to move the June meeting date to June 23rd.
So moved.
Do I have a motion? I'm sorry, I have it moved by, was that Ms. Almanor?
Yes.
Seconded by me,
Moved by-
Linda. Seconded Linda Watson.
Seconded by Linda Watson. Thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions with regards to this? Any discussion?
Can I just clarify what the motion on the floor is?
Is to move the June meeting date from June 22nd to June 23rd.
Did we say why?
I mean, we've explained this part of it, but it's because of the primary day. Right now, our board meeting conflicts with primary day.
Oh, yeah, it is primary. June 22nd is the primary this year. Well,
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Do we have unanimous consent? Is there
Yes.
anybody in opposition?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Is there anybody who opposes? That kind of kills unanimous consent. All right. Seeing none, Alejandra, please record the vote as unanimous. Unanimous on the part of the board to move the dates. Okay. Last item. Let me know when you're ready. Actually, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So the last item, we have a motion. We have a motion to send out a letter that was approved by the Parks, Recreation, Cultural Affairs Committee. The question before the board right now is, do we approve the letter? So,
Can you describe the letter?
the letter is actually a part of the packages that went out. Very, very succinctly. The letter is saying that the city has taken a position with regards to sunlight. It mentions the 1991 zoning. It mentions density to a certain extent as well. Yeah, and it's asking for elected officials to sign on in support of the letter, the PB9.
Discussion.
So that's
Thank
sorry,
you.
repeat that?
Go, Patricia.
Right.
Discussion.
Okay.
All right,
Well, hold on. So we
Juan.
need a motion. Hold on. Yes, hold on. We need a motion first because we're not going to do it. If there's no motion, then we don't.
So made. I make a
Who moved?
motion to
Second.
table.
I second Vivian Morgan.
Hold on. Well, hold on. First, before you second, Vivian, hold on. What was the motion, Warren?
I make a motion to table based on it being in violation of the TRO that Alicia Boyd has taken out.
All right.
I
so we have a
second it.
Vote by Warren Burke. Who's the second?
I second it.
Seconded by Stuart Valberg. All right. Discussion. Any questions?
That's what I was gonna say, exactly what they said. anybody that wanted to review that presentation, it came up in a ULUP committee, and you can go online and review the presentation. But I just wanted to agree with, if we take a vote on that, then we are taking a position, and we have not taken a position at this point. And anybody that want to see that presentation, like I said, it's in our April meeting. You can view the whole slides and everything. But I think at this point, I don't think we should vote on it at this point. We shouldn't take a position at this point.
Thank you very much, Ms. Moses. All right, is there any more discussion? Amy Pinkerton, I see you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know this letter. So was it posted in the email that we received before this meeting? I'm not familiar with it. I'm going to find it.
The one you just read.
It was included as part
In
of
the email for tonight's meeting?
It was part of the package that was sent out to the board meeting, with all the minutes.
So for tonight's meeting, it's included in there?
Yes, it was, yes.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, we're going to call the question. All those in favor of tabling, please say aye.
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 All those opposed? All those opposed, please say nay. Or no, depending on your mood. Are there any abstentions?
Yes, Vivia.
Amy abstains.
I heard an abstention by Ms. Morgan. Who else?
Amy.
Amy.
I heard an abstention by Ms. Pinkerton. Anyone else?
Marianne Woolsey.
I have an abstention by Ms. Wolseley. Any other abstentions? Okay, seeing none. Please record the vote as abstentions by Ms. Morgan, by Ms. Pinkerton, by Ms. Wolseley. All of the board members voting in favor. Motion, so the motion, I'm sorry, the matter's been tabled. The matter's been tabled. Okay.
Excuse me, sir, there were some no's as well.
I did not hear the no's, but I'm sorry, I apologize. Who voted?
I thought there were some no's.
There was no no's.
There were no no's.
Okay, my
I didn't
mistake.
hear any
I'm
no's.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, not a problem. Okay, no, but thank you. All right.
Fred.
Yes.
Fred, this is Tessa. So will the ULUP, will Chair Moses and the ULUP committee be making a further recommendation to us?
When we're at the point where we can actually continue. I'll defer to the chairs. They've been coordinating this process. Right now, unfortunately, because of the TRO, we're still at a point where we can't make any determinations, and we can't schedule the hearing. But absolutely, they're coordinating any other conversations or any actions.
Yeah, I just want to say we are missing quite a bit of materials that had been requested, and we have not received those materials yet.
So the answer to my question, Chair Moses, is that you hope to be making a recommendation to the board at some date in the future.
In the future, yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. All right, with that being said, I think we've covered the voting session. Is there any unfinished business?
All business.
Seeing none, is there
Aye.
any new business that needs to be?
I
Oh,
have
yes,
new
I'm sorry.
business.
You have new business? Okay, sure.
Yes.
So no unfinished business, new business? Yes, what do you have for the board? Go ahead, Ms. Timothy.
Oh, I just want to say that I think that we should send out a condolence letter to the family of the deceased from the board.
Absolutely appropriate. We'll draft that and I'll send one out on behalf of the board.
Okay.
No, thank you for that.
Chair Baptiste, was
Yes.
she a member of the board, or was she still on, or was she off?
No, she was off, but she was a member for 2 years, from 15 to 17. I believe.
No, I'm just trying to remember if I hear her name, when we do roll call.
She definitely been an active member in our meetings and ULUP committees, and she basically she attends almost every meeting.
Oh,
Yes, very active on the
I
board.
didn't know. I was just trying to remember if I heard her name on
As
the roll call. That's
as a
all.
member and as a community member as well. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Okay. All right. So, is there any other new business? Seeing none, I just want to thank everyone for your time and your deliberation this evening. I want to again thank our district staff. The team is phenomenal. You're really putting us in different, you're really doing our community a great service to the quality. We're almost at the home stretch. We'll have the additional information with regards to the amendment if we need it. We are also going to start the election process. I would absolutely recommend, if you are interested, please feel free to respond to the solicitations from the nominations committee to get them. If you have any questions, please feel free to speak to myself or any of the other executive members, officers as well. I think I feel free to say that they'll be willing to speak about their experiences. And with that being said, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Moved by Stuart Balberg. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Linda Watson Lord. That's the one I saw light up first. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Sounds like a majority to me. We are now adjourned. The time is now 9:41 p.m. Everyone take care. Stay.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.